Hello, viewers. This is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series. And it looks like Green-White Scales versus Temur Ramp. Okay, Scales has a 3-4 Sylvan Advocate, a 2-3 Sylvan Advocate, and a 1-1 Warden of the First Tree. And Ramp has a Morph. He did throw down an Explosive Vegetation. Scales just leveled up the Warden to 3-3. And Ramp takes all the damage. That was 8 damage, and he's down to 6. Ramp has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So flipped the Morph for Rattleclaw Mystic. That's 4 mana. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana available. So Chandra, Flamecaller. I assume he's going to go -4. And that'll kill everything on the board and keep him alive. That is one good thing about facing off against the Scales deck, is the fact that they don't have haste. So you'll always have a turn to try and deal with whatever it is they play. Scales throws down Nissa Vastwood Seer. That's land number 6, so all he needs is one more, and she'll flip. Back to Ramp. That's a lot of mana. What's he going to play? Worldbreaker. Well, the Breaker will kill off a land since it's the only thing left, and Ramp decides to keep his Sanctum because otherwise he'd be at 6 mana. And the cheapest thing that he'd search for would be a Worldbreaker. So, pass from Scales, Ramp attacks in with the Worldbreaker, Scales takes the damage. He can afford to at this point. Oh, and Ramp throws down another Worldbreaker. And things are starting to go sideways for the Scales deck. And he doesn't play anything. Oh, goes to second main phase. I was going to say, he doesn't play anything. And he didn't. He played a land. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. A third Worldbreaker? That's pretty much game for Scales. Well, he was able to throw down an Abzan Charm and get rid of one of the Worldbreakers. So that'll prolong his life. But holy crap, 3 Worldbreakers. And he concedes. And honestly, there was probably no way that he was going to be able to make it back from that. 3 back-to-back Worldbreakers off of a Chandra Flamecaller board clear. That was ridiculous. So, let's go to game 2. And turn 3 Nissa Vastwood Seer. And you know what? He might not actually be playing Scales. I just assumed that he was playing Scales because for most of that first game, all he had was green and white mana, and he was playing creatures that aren't that uncommon to find in a Scales deck. Now it's looking like he might actually be a 4C control deck, because we saw that he had the smoldering whatever, the red and black land, and now he's played a Shambling Vent, throws down a Siege Rhino. So, Explosive Vegetation from Ramp. That puts him up to 6 mana. It might even be an Abzan Midrange deck. I'm not actually sure, but an attack all in there for 6 damage. Ramp is down to 9. And that is one of the problems with determining whether a deck like this is Abzan or 4C. The decks are really similar. There's so much overlap. that, unless we really see something like a Crackling Doom or something like that from him, at the moment, there's no real way to be sure. Hedron Archive from Ramp. Follows it up with a Nissa's Renewal. That'll keep him alive for a little while longer. That'll put him up to 16 and give him 3 more land, which 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 12 mana. So any of the bombs in his deck he can play. He just needs to draw them. So Abzan Charm at the end of turn to draw two. No, to put 2 counters on. I was expecting him to draw cards, but he makes his Siege Rhino into a 6/7. And he does have 6 mana open and 4 cards in hand. Another Abzan Charm to turn the Siege Rhino into an 8/9, so that's a 10 damage hit. So ramp is down to 6. Second main phase. Throws down a Morph. So ramp has to drop his bombs now. If he doesn't have them, he's done. Throws down a land. In fact, he can afford to sacrifice the Hedron Archive and still have enough mana for some of his lower cost bombs. So, activating the Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, so we know that what he's casting is a colorless spell. And it's a World Breaker. That'll get rid of the Shambling Vent. So, now he has a 5/7. And he has enough to play another World Breaker, but throws down Crush of Tentacles. And he was able to cast it for Surge. So he gets an 8/8 Octopus token, and all other creatures are now in their controller's hands. So he got the benefits of World Breaker, and now he gets to cast it again. And whatever this other deck is, I'm going to assume it's Abzan at the moment. He's pretty well screwed now. All that work he put into that Siege Rhino is gone. But he does have 22 life. So here comes the World Breaker, and it will take out his other black mana producer. Flips Den Protector in response to grab back an Abzan Charm, which isn't going to help him unless he has a black mana source in his hand. So, wow. Ramp turned this game around really well. That Abzan deck was going real hard and got him down to 6, and just all of a sudden, I'll play World Breaker and follow it up with Crush of Tentacles, and now Abzan, I don't think he can win. He's out of black mana now. He can't play his Siege Rhino, he can't play that Abzan Charm he just got back, and he concedes the match. And, I don't blame him. I cannot think of a way that he could have come out of that game with a win. So, there you go, folks. I'm going to call it Abzan Midrange, and the other deck was a Temur ramp deck. So I'm going to have to try and find a deck list for that. But if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next video.